Welcome to e-classroom. This is teacher Želijanka again from the high school Metodi Mitevski Brico in Delčo. Our class is about language focus and will cover expressions for politeness, and of course this is for first year B1 level. We'll begin by a joke that I came across while I was a student like you, and it sounded like this: wrong and right situations. You see, on the left side with the wrong, there's a man drowning crying for help. And the man with the dog does not even pay attention. So the right way of attracting his attention and addressing him is, "Excuse me, sir, I'm terribly sorry to bother you, but I wonder if you would mind helping me a moment, as long as it's no trouble, of course." This is too much. And of course, you wouldn't do it while you're in trouble, as this man drowning. But this is the power of being polite. Now, let's see. Why is it important to practice politeness? To be more successful in conversations, to create a positive reputation as a speaker, as a personality, avoid offending others, unintentionally, of course, build positive relationships more easily, and get information what you need. So, how to address people in a polite way? When you have doubts, especially when you meet someone for the first time, and if you're not sure, it's recommended to keep it formal. Salute with their last names. That goes for a professional setting, like you can practice with your friends or while you're in classroom to build a situation like crying out their last name. So this is not good when you're friends, but when you're a professional, you might want to use it. Professional address where possible, like instead of saying their first names or last names, you address them directly with their profession. For example, teacher. You say teacher in our country, but in others would be Mr. Mirova. So a doctor, Dr. Jackson. Only first or last names is the other tip. It means you do not mix them up. For example, you wouldn't use Mr. for your school friends, right? Their last names. You'll use only first names. This is how we make our conversation normal. And in correspondence, in writing, you should be formal. You should begin with "Dear Sir or Madam," especially when you're writing to institution, school, hospital, university, bank. It's not important. And you address "Dear Sir or Madam" when you don't know who the recipient is, who the person in authority is. So this is the safe and very polite and very formal way. If you do know, then you would address it "Dear Mr. Jackson," "Dear Mrs. Jackson." And how do you end? Use faithfully a new signature with your first name and your last name. There are a couple, 3 to 4 magic words in English that make the conversation more polite. Excuse me, please, and thank you, the first set of 3, and welcome will be mentioned in the dialogues that follow. In the statement, excuse me is used when you try to attract someone's attention politely. Like, "Excuse me, sir, can you please tell me what the time is?" Or when you need a space and you say, "Excuse me, sir," and this is how you attract their attention. Please. This is a polite request or a question. Thank you, when you acknowledge a gift, service, or compliment that the other people do for you. Don't forget to use it. And welcome is a response to many of the cases when accepting or refusing an offer, when someone says thanks. But it's not used in situations like you congratulate someone, you say happy birthday, they say thank you, and you don't say welcome. Of course not. This is what we mean by accepting or refusing an offer, responding when someone says thanks. Some polite phrases, like pay attention for the first, close the window. This is not polite at all. Close the window is definitely an order. Instead of close the window, you would say, please close the window. Can you close the window, please? Would you please close the window? You see how good it sounds? Next situation, repeat what you said. You don't do it. You do not interrupt people like that. Instead, you say, excuse me, can you please repeat what you said? We mentioned thanks previously and several phrases to use. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thanks, I appreciate your help. Thank you for your time. Many thanks. Another polite phrases, can, could, and would in the example. Can you give me a hand with this bag? Can you give me a hand with these bags, please? Could or would you please tell me where the nearest post office is? Next phrase, if you don't mind, meaning if it doesn't bother you. If you don't mind, would you help upload the video presentation? You see, if it doesn't bother you. So you're asking politely. If it is not a problem, if it's not a problem, can I hand in my homework on Monday? Or could I hand in my homework on Monday? When you have a moment, when you get a second, will you email me that application for the winter camp? You see, these are all polite phrases. And some few more tips. That's a bad idea. When you're telling your opinion, that's a bad idea. I'm not sure that's a good idea. I have a few concerns. What do we have here? That's a bad idea is marked as not recommended because it's really rude. Use opposite word, the positive in degree with a negative verb, like I'm not. So you see, I'm not. And the word is good idea. I'm not sure that's a good idea. I have few concerns. The next situation, I want a sandwich. I like a hamburger. I'll have a hamburger, please. I don't like the colors in this design. You switch to the approved. I'm really not fond of the colors. I prefer to use different colors. Hope you like the tips for polite expressions. Please practice saying them aloud as long as you're comfortable to use them in your polite vocabulary. Thank you for watching. See you next time.